fashion designers, you're welcome back to class. This is Modern Woman Apparel. I want to specially thank all my returning subscribers, and if this is your first time here, please join the family. Hit on the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so as to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you. So guys, in today's class we are going to be transferring this skirt pattern, this dartless skirt pattern, to fabric, and we are going to be using this to make a dartless skirt with waistband. So this is our pattern. As you can see, we have already drafted this pattern in the part 1, and guys, it's so detailed you can't afford to miss it. Now, to watch how we made this pattern, check on the comment section. You'll find the link to the part 1 of this class. For us to proceed with this, you know this is a full skirt block. You can use this as well for your gown. All you need is just to follow the guidelines I'll be showing you on how to transfer this front part to your fabric. So this is just it if you want to use it for your gown, just to transfer to fabric. But because we are using this for a skirt with waistband, we are going to be bringing out our waistband from this pattern. Now let me set the back part aside and let's begin with the front pattern. So the first thing we are going to do is to determine the length of the band. If you're working with a slim person, all you need to do is to use 1.5 inches, and if your client is of the plus size, you can use 2 inches. This is standard. So from here, you know, this is our actual waistline here. This is the seam allowance. So from this actual waistline here, I'll come down by 1.5 inches. So right now what I'm doing is just to mark my 1.5 inches from the actual waistline, and after that I'll just connect all the dots together. So having done this, I'll just indicate here that I'm adding ½ inch back to join the band, and also indicate on this very part that I'm adding ½ inch. This is the center front here, which I'll be cutting on fold. Now the ½ inch, I've already added ½ inch here, so what I'll just do is to cut this out. So you can just indicate an arrow to show that this part is going up. So guys, this is it. The same thing we did here will be applied to the back part. From this original waistline here, we're going to also come down by same 1.5 inches. So guys, just go ahead and come down by 1.5 inches just like we did for the front, and after that you connect the dots. So this is where our zipper is, which makes this part here our CB, the center back. Note we also make our indication, add ½ inch, add ½ inch, and this part here is going up. This is our back waistband, so just cut it. Note every other part of this pattern is already having the necessary seam allowances. We just need this seam allowance on just these very 2 parts. Now guys, having done this, we are going to transfer this pattern to fabric. So guys, to transfer these patterns to fabric, the first thing you need to do first is to put your fabric on fold. Now before cutting, as you can see, you notice that our front part from the waist to the hip is not straight. We only have the straight part here from the hip to the skirt length. Now all you need to do is to remember the indication we made here for our ½ inch. So you add your ½ inch seam allowance here. So this is for the skirt with band. Now because I'll be making reference to this skirt pattern by the time we are making our gown, what I'm going to do now is to show you how to cut it. Let's say you're using this for a gown, or you're using it to make a skirt without waistband. So this is how you're going to do it. Let's say you didn't eliminate this band. You're making this without a band, and you already added your ½ inch this way. Please, all you still need to do is to indicate, use your chalk to mark out the line of this ½ inch. So whether your ½ inch is already there or not, please trace out this line. It's very important when transferring this front pattern to fabric. So trace it out like this. And if you have not added your ½ inch, like just like on this part here, all you need to do is to bring out your ½ inch like this. I hope you understand. So I'll just clean this. You can also see that I've already gone ahead to pin. So pinning this is very important. I pinned all the way to the hip line here. So what I'll do now is to start cutting. So please pay attention to this front part. So I'll just start cutting. By the time I get to this hip line here, I'll stop, and by the time I stop, what I'll do is to remove all the pins I have except for the pin here, this very pin I have here. So I'll remove all the pins I have on this pattern except for the pin here. Then I'll tilt this thing to this part here so that I can also have this part here being straight. I hope you understand.
So guys, this is exactly what I did. I didn't know my camera didn't capture that, so I have to bring this from our previous tutorial.
And I'm going to tilt this so that this part now can correspond, this part of my pattern can correspond with the center front of my fabric, so you can see. And I will pin it down. So by the time I tilt it, you can see that this very part has shifted. It has crossed this line. This is the essence of putting this line here before cutting, so that you don't cut a fabric that is longer than your actual skirt length. I hope you understand. So by the time I shift it, making this part straight to lay on the straight part of this fabric, I'll continue cutting. And by the time I get to this line here, I'll stop and remove my fabric and remove my pattern. I no longer need this pattern, so I'll just trace from here and cut out. So it's just as easy as this. So you can see what we have here. Now, because I added 1.5 inches for the hemming, all I just need is to fold 2.25 here, fold in 2.25 here, and use the rest of this to cut out my lining fabric. To cut out the lining for the skirt, you can see I've already folded in 2.25 because I added 1.5 inches for the hemming allowance, and I've used the rest of the skirt to cut out my lining fabric. So that means my lining is shorter than my main fabric by 2.25. I hope you understand. For this back part, all you need to do is to cut 2 pieces of it. So you can see my fabric is on fold because I want to get 2 pieces of this. Now this ½ inch here, I'll just add the ½ inch. And if you have already added your ½ inch, let's say you are using this for a gown, so like this, all you need to do is just to cut out. No need of using chalk to trace out anything. Just cut out as you see me do. So guys, this is it. Now the very important thing you need to note about this is make sure you notch either the center or the side. For me, I always notch the center of the back, because as you can see, these 2 parts are covered. Without notching this, you may get confused by the time you are sewing this as to which part is for the center and which part is for the side. So giving it a notch helps you to know the part you are using for your center and the part that is for your side. I hope you understand. So I also fold in 2.25 and use the rest to cut out my lining fabric, and we'll go over to the skirt band. So to cut the band, as you can see, this is the CF, this is the center front, which means this is the front band. Now you notice that the CF is not straight, it's slanted. We are not going to place this pattern this way to cut. We are going to slant it, just like you are cutting it on bias, this way, so that the slanted part of this will match up with this straight part of this fabric. So you can see the way I slanted this. I'll just pin it down. After pinning, I added back this ½ inch I have here. The upper part is already carrying ½ inch, so I added back this ½ inch here, and I'll just cut. So this is the front part. We have 2 pieces for the front part.
So guys, for the back band, all you need to do is to place your pattern on your fabric and cut out 4 pieces for this back band. You need 2 as the main band and 2 as the lining for the band. Once you are done pinning your pattern to your fabric, go ahead and add the ½ inch as we have indicated on the paper, and the next thing to do is to cut out your band. Note that we need 4 pieces for this back band.
So guys, this is the back waistband and this is the front waistband. For the front, we're having 2 pieces of it here. You can see we're having 2 pieces of it. Because it's not straight, you can see we have something like a V here. That's why you need to cut it on bias. So we have 2 pieces of it, and for the back we are having 4 pieces of it. One will be for the main fabric, one will be for the lining, one will be for the main fabric, one will be for the lining. For this one will be for the main fabric and one will be for the lining. So I'm going to take this to my ironing table and use my interfacing on this. So you can use any interfacing of your choice. You can use an air stay, you can use a pepper stay. For this I'm going to be using pepper stay. So I'm going to iron the pepper stay on all of these band pieces.
So as you can see, I've gone ahead to infuse my interfacing on all the band pieces. Now we are going to be using the easiest method possible, because I don't want us to stress ourselves at all on the skirts. And I've been using this method, and trust me, it's been really beautiful on all my clients. So why not? Let's just go ahead. So as you can see, I've already placed the main fabric and the lining right side to right side, and we are going to start sewing. Now the first thing you have to do is please indicate, can you see for this back band, please indicate the part that is going up, just like we indicated with the arrow. So right now what I'm going to do is to take this back band and sew the center back, the upper waistline, and the side band. I'm also going to do that to this other side. For the front band, you can see this part here that looks like the V. This is the top part here. So I'm going to sew the side with 1/2 inch, the top with my 1/2 inch, and also the side. You can see I placed the lining and the main fabric right side facing each other. So just stitch, and after that we are going to turn through the down parts.
So guys, this is the band. For this front here, you can see it's curved. So after stitching, all you need is to notch this upper part before turning it over. So give it a good press and use a top stitch to hold it. Like I said earlier, we are using the easiest means possible to make the skirt.
So guys, coming over to the down part of the skirt, you can see that my lining is shorter than my main fabric by 2.5 inches. Not to worry, by the time we join this, they are all going to be equal. Now first thing to do is to sew the down part, not the waistline. Please sew the down part with your 1/2 inch. Now you can see the notch I have here. This is my 1.5 inches. That is the seam allowance that I made. So on that point of 1.5 inches, I notched. Now after that, what I'm going to do is to pull my lining from that notch of the 1.5 inches. So pull from that notch, and by the time you pull your lining from there, you can see that the main fabric and the lining are now meeting up on the waistline. So guys, you can see what we have here. Now to stitch this, what you are going to do is to start from that notch and sew this side to the waistline, also sew this other side here to the waistline. After stitching the side, the next thing to do is to turn it over through the waistline and give it a good press. Now the same way you have done this, you also repeat same to the other skirt pieces.
Now these are the down part of this skirt here. So after turning, also use your top stitch to hold it down for all the skirt parts. So now that we have joined all the main fabric with the lining, what we are going to do next is to attach the band to the skirt part. So I'm going to notch the center of this front part here, and also notch the center of this, and place them right side facing each other. So you can see this V part here is on the center. So this is how it should be after sewing. So I'm going to notch it, pin down the center, and stitch. I'm going to join it this way, and also take the back part. Please always note where you have at the center. You can see my notch is still at the center back here, and I still have my notch at the center back of my skirt part. So what I'm going to do now is to place it right side facing each other, making sure that the two notches are meeting, are on the same direction, and I'm going to stitch. So after stitching, I'll use my weaving machine to tidy up these raw edges. So guys, after joining the bands, you weave the raw edge. The next thing we are going to do is to pick up the back fabric and place it right side facing each other. The next thing to do is to join the center back. So join the center back and attach your zipper. So remember to leave a space for your slit. Join the center back and attach your zipper. So guys, after fixing your zipper, all you need to do is to open press this seam line. Make sure you press the seam line of this back part. It will help your back part to be relaxed. So the next thing we are going to do now, as you can see, I've already placed the front and the back right side facing each other, and I'm going to start taking my measurement. I normally take my measurement from the back part. So guys, I don't know if I'm the only one that have experienced this, that whenever I add the same seam allowance to the front and back, the back always shorten at this hip line. So what I normally do is, if I add 2 inches to the front seam allowance, I'll add 2.5 to the back seam allowance. So I just have to add the same 2 inches because I'm using this for tutorial. Please, so if you have also experienced this, let me know in the comment section. Let me know if I'm the only one on this table. So to avoid this, I normally add more to the seam allowance of the back than what I have on the front. So let's continue. So what I'm going to do now is, I normally take my measurement from the back. The waist measurement I'm working with is 28 divided by 4 is 7. So this is my 7 from the center here, from the zip here, the center of the zip. This is 7. Now also go from this side here, from the center of the zip, 7. I'll come down from here. What I have from the waist to the hip is 9. So this is the 9 inches. And what I have is 39, and that is divided by 4 is 9.75. So I'll go out here 9.75, and also on this very part here, this is my 9 inches, and also on this very part here I'll do my 9.75. So I'll connect. Please remember to pin your fabric, is very important. I'm just trying to show you how it's done. By the time I'm sewing this, I'll make sure I pin my fabric first. The new, you measure the new. What I have from the waist to the knee is 23. This is my 23. So what I have there is my 9.75 minus 2, which is 7.75. So this is the 7.75, and on this side I'll also input the 7.75 here. I'll connect. Make sure you don't have any sharp edge. And here on the hem of this, I also have the same 7.75 there. So from the center, 7.75, from the center, 7.75, and I'll just connect to the new, as you can see. So what I would just do now is to take this to my sewing machine and just run a stitch on the chalk line I made. So guys, this is our skirt. This is the back part, and this is the front part. Now the only part left is for us to tidy up the slit. Now this slit can be as high as you want, or as high as your clients want. Can also be as low as you want, but it should not be below your nail. At least 3 inches above the nail line is okay. Now to finish this up, what I'm going to do is to place, first of all, I ironed my seam allowance. I pressed it down this way. This is my hemming tape or hemming gum. So I'm going to place it inside this way and use my iron, making sure that no part of this hemming gum is showing outside. So stuff it in and use the iron to press it. This way it stays nice and flat. So guys, this is the outcome of our beautiful skirt. You can see it looking all beautiful on my client, and she so much loves it. Thanks so much for watching. Do not forget to like, comment and share, and if you're yet to subscribe, please kindly do so. I'll see you in my next tutorial. I'm Modern Woman. Bye for now.